Welcome to the O'Reilly Factor. I'm your host. Just kidding. This is Footballers Convention World Cup Edition. Flying solo here in the studio right now. Going to have someone joining me who I think you know in a moment. First, let's take a look at some of the lineups here for Brazil and Belgium. Quarterfinal that we're watching. This is the big one. This is the juicy one. Gabriel Jesus keeps his spot starting up top for Brazil, as you see here. Neymar and Willian, who's had a particularly good tournament. Casemiro is suspended. Fernandinho comes in for him. He's going to have to boss the center of the park. Marcelo is back. That's good for Brazil. And for Belgium, Martinez changing his side a little bit around. Chadley gets rewarded for his goal last match. He comes in. Fellaini the same. Three at the back. Could get a little interesting, but I'm excited to hear some of everyone's thoughts join this one about to kick off. One person who I think everyone knows and loves is joining us is Mr. Mask. Mask, you there with us?
Hey, buddy. How's it going?
All right. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm looking forward to this game, Sevi. I think this game is probably going to be the biggest match of the tournament so far. Brazil, Belgium. Two teams that a lot of people kind of tipped to win the World Cup. I don't know. What do you reckon? I'm thinking Brazil. I want to see a goal fest here. I want to see loads of goals. And I reckon Brazil are the team that can actually do that today.
Yeah, as we tweeted out this morning, or I can't remember if it was last night, it's all a blur, but both these sides have been the most attacking in terms of chances created and on target. So you got to figure there's goals coming in this one, I think.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if you look at, the likes of Lukaku, he is a guy who's able to score at this level. We've already seen him score goals at the World Cup. We're looking at also at Gabriel Jesus. Is he going to be able to provide the goals? He has been very, very quiet so far. Neymar, I want to see less play acting from Neymar and more action on the pitch. I'm sick of it.
I think we all do.
I'm getting annoyed now because he's ruining his reputation here. Like, he's ruining the fact that he's one of the greatest players in the world, and then he's doing all this theatrics. It's really pissed me off.
He doesn't need to. It's not necessary. I understand how I'm a little defensive of England, where they kind of sometimes you need to win a free kick here or there at the end of the game. He doesn't need to be doing it at the beginning of the match where they're dominating. He's scoring goal. You know what I mean? He does it all the time when it's not even necessary to to earn it.
Yeah, I'm glad to see KDB playing a bit more up the pitch. Against who were they playing against the last game? Japan. Like, they really, he was so defensive minded, and that's not the style. That's not the way that KDB plays. And again, he's playing a little bit more forward against Brazil here. So again, we're looking to see a little bit from him. But I think Brazil are going to do it. I just think that they have so much quality around the pitch. Yeah.
I agree. I'm still sticking with Brazil until they let me down. And I've been Jesus' maybe biggest critic in terms of comparing him to Firmino and how effective they've been since Firmino's come on and how few minutes. But Jesus is not a bad player, so it wouldn't surprise me to see him all of a sudden explode tonight and maybe score one, maybe even 2 goals just to answer the critics like myself a little bit. So I think I'm riding with Brazil, but no result in this match would really surprise me, and no result would make me change my mind that both teams really are good. You know what I mean? Like, who wins, loses.
I'm kind of thinking the winner from this match is going to go all the way.
Yeah.
I just feel like that. France today, they were just they were okay.
The result kind of.
I kind of felt sorry. Yeah, I felt sorry for the goalkeeper.
Yeah. Yeah. We've seen it a few times recently now. We've seen Muslera do it. We saw De Gea do it against Portugal. We saw Karius do it in the Champions League final. It's happening now. So it's not, he's in good company at least.
Well, yeah, I suppose. I put a tweet out about it today. Like, I felt a little bit bad, but I'm just looking for the traction from the tweets.
But you still got to turn the knife a little bit when you can.
I have to be a little bit controversial. There's no point being vanilla on Twitter. You need to be a little bit controversial. Even like the tweet I put out about it's coming home.
Oh.
Everyone is using it, but the people who are putting it out have never watched the bleeding match.
I know, I love
the course of the year.
And
you're kind of going, come on now, hop on that bandwagon, why don't you?
Yeah, seriously.
Another thing though, in this game, Neymar is on a yellow card.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of thinking, is he going to play a little bit more kind of maybe he's not going to get stuck in as much. You know, that could affect his kind of mentality going into this game. Does he want to be suspended for the next game? It's going to be tough, man. It really is.
Another sort of interesting little wrinkle to this game is I was looking at the top scorers going in. Obviously, Harry Kane he's got a pretty comfortable lead for Golden Boot. But I really, of the players that are still involved, Lukaku only 2 goals behind him. You kind of feel like maybe he's the one who could challenge. I mean, there's a couple Russians on 3, Hazard's on 2, you know, Neymar's on 2. He could always possibly explode for a couple goals, but I feel like it's maybe between Kane and Lukaku. So you almost wonder if Lukaku's kind of got that in his mind a little bit, or his teammates too. You know, De Bruyne is such an unselfish player. He might be looking to try and get his guy, especially, you know, on the score sheet early.
Absolutely. I think if you look at Brazil and if you look at the amount of clean sheets they've had over the past 20 or so games, I think they've had 18 clean sheets in the qualification process to the World Cup. So you're playing against a team here, Sevi, that they don't concede a lot of goals. Now, we know how good Lukaku is, and we know like he is probably the #1 contender to Harry Kane for the Golden Boot. But this match, I just don't know. I just don't think he has what it takes to score against Brazil. I mean, he scored against, you know, the likes of Panama. He scored against the likes of Tunisia. Listen, you and me could do that out in the Sunday League pitch, no problem at all. But like we're talking about a super team in Brazil here. It's going to be a different ball game. In fairness to Fellaini, I'm delighted he's playing. I gave him a lot of shit. I was like, listen, this guy is brutal. He's one of the worst midfielders in the Premier League, but he's proven a point and he's got his place today in the team. So fair play to him.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I just saw a replay of him throwing a nice little elbow, but
yeah, if I saw that, I was like, my man.
That's never going to completely disappear. But I mean, you know, he played a nice pass a minute ago. He's not as bad as we give him you know, shit for. But yeah, exactly. But you know, he just even when he does something well, he just looks so clumsy doing it, or you know, getting hit in the face with the ball. That one image that was pretty famous last year. So. Yeah. That's Fellaini.
I think one thing for Brazil as well is they're missing Casemiro tonight. He's suspended. Fernandinho's coming in to replace him. I think he's going to be missing. He's going to be missing, especially in that kind of defensive kind of line where they are looking to stop the Belgian attack going forward. Another thing I'm a little bit worried about for Belgium is Meunier. He's playing on the right-hand side. I don't rate him. I know he plays for PSG, but he's up against Neymar, the best player in that position, I think, in the world right now. So there's a few weaknesses in both teams. Again, I'm not convinced by Axel Witsel. Axel Witsel plays in bleeding China. You know, like you're talking about players here who are, you know, not playing at the height. They're not playing at the top level. I did want to see them do a lot better, or play for better teams to be able to compete in the World Cup.
What did you reckon of France and Uruguay this morning? What were your big takeaways?
Oh, there you go there. What did I take? I mean, do you know what? I absolutely love Uruguay. I absolutely love their manager. I think he's a fantastic human being. I love the way they play. It's just like, it's so good. Like, it's so organized. It's so stable. Nearly there. It's so stable, and like the way that they play, I think that team should be a kind of a benchmark for young players to look at and go, listen, this is the way you play. You play a high pressing game. You don't let the players that you're playing against have 1 second on the ball. You need to play a little bit more deep, so you do need a lot of fitness on the team. But I like the way they play, and I think there should be more teams playing like that. If Ireland played like that, Sevi, listen, I'll be a happy man.
Yeah, definitely, they're kind of a coach's dream, right? The way they play and attack, and I just felt bad that maybe Cavani might have been the difference today. You know, we kind of missed that a little bit. I don't know.
I mean, it was a great goal. Don't get me wrong. The Varane goal, beautiful. Like, well taken. And I kind of liked, I don't know whether you noticed as well, at the start of the kind of free kick, he went up to take a step up and then he stopped.
Yeah.
And then Griezmann then hit it in. That put off the defense. It was very, very clever.
Yeah, they had to kind of halt their run and got them out of rhythm a little bit. And that 1 yard space, not even half a yard space or a 2 foot space, he was basically marked, but that might have just been a little bit of enough space for Varane to get that header. And then, of course, the goalkeeping mistake. So well done by France, but also they were flattered a little bit by the result. You know, I heard some of the commentators saying that Deschamps has them just clicking and they're firing all cylinders, and I was like, not really. I mean, they scored a nice free kick and then a goalkeeper screw up, and that was it. Like, it wasn't chance after chance.
Yeah. My concern here, like another concern, loads of concerns, Sevi, tonight, but one of my other concerns is company. I'm not convinced by him, man. I just think that he hasn't really played much for Man City. He's getting on in age. He didn't impress me against England. He didn't impress me against Japan. He's just, I don't know. Something's not right with him. And you're playing against a few of the best players in the world, like Willian, Neymar, up front. And I don't know. He's just something that. Oh, here we go. Oh, he just scares me a little. He scares me a little. Yeah,
you kind of get the feeling that maybe he isn't as fit as they're saying he is. Like, he's a bit off the pace, but they don't want to expose that for other teams to exploit. So they're kind of pretending like he's totally fine, but everyone knows he isn't, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So Witsel, Meunier, and company, I think, are the kind of weak links. Now, listen, we all know how good Hazard is. We all know how good KDB is. They can make a difference in this game, but I think they're going to have a lot more possession of the ball and to be able to be a little bit more effective.
Paulinho should have done a little better there.
Fair play to Belgium for coming back against Japan. Like, they were 2-0 down, and that kind of shows you that the team has a bit about them. There's a bit of team bonding going on there. It definitely would have helped them, but I mean, I thought they were dead and buried against Japan. I thought they were gone.
I think most lesser teams would have been. They would have kind of given up or panicked early, and Belgium really didn't. Here we go, Jesus.
Yeah, exactly.
True to the Sport says, if this game is half as entertaining as the Mr. Mass blooper reel, I'll be satisfied.
Listen, I can't believe you did me there on that. You put in all my mistakes. But listen,
that wasn't all of them. That wasn't all of them.
It would have gone on for 20 fucking minutes.
I had to cut it off to a point,
No, it was funny though. I do, like, in fairness, like, it kind of brings back a lot of memories as well. It's just like, oh yeah, it was good. You had a laugh, Sevi. You had a laugh, man.
Yeah, it was good. And you know what? Right as you left, it started getting even warmer here. Believe it or not, it's 110. It's going to be today. What is that, Terry? What is that in Celsius? 43? 43 Celsius?
43?
Yeah.
No.
Hold on.
I mean, I would have melted. I would have melted outside the studio.
You would have gotten sunburn indoors.
It's true. I can't deny.
43.
I'm looking at a few statistics here. So Belgium have only reached one semi-final in their entire history, and that was in 1986. And they've only lost one game under Roberto Martinez, and that was his first game in charge. They're unbeaten in 23 games.
Do you know who that one was?
There are two teams here that are in form.
Fellaini, he looks up for it. He looks like he wants to get another goal.
Right, okay. Who are you going to go for first goal scorer then? Give me some predictions.
Fellaini looks really up for it. I think he's going to get one on a set piece, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who you got?
Oh, it's a goal! Am I ahead of you?
You're about a second ahead of me. Your boy, huh?
Oh, God. Belgium. Who scored?
It looked like Company or?
Come on, Brazil. Come on now.
That was big. Oh, Fernandinho was it that got beat?
Oh, was it Fernandinho? Gee.
I got to see again. Oh. Wow. Who would if Belgium go through?
What are you doing? Oh no, that is pathetic.
Wow.
Oh, dude.
Oh my God.
Wow. Well, game on.
This is off his elbow.
This is good for the game because Brazil need to go out there and just attack.
We said there'd be goals in this. Who knew that it was Mr. OG coming back?
How many OGs has there been now? I think that's the 11th OG in the tournament so far. The most out of any tournament, any World Cup. 11 OGs. That's incredible.
We've got a crack team of researchers working around the clock on this one. Wow. Yeah, OG might be beating Harry Kane to the Golden Boot right now.
Yeah.
I feel like we had about 6, 7 maybe.
OGs, we have at 11. Oh, good save by Courtois.
Had to get a
Come on,
hand on that
Willian.
one.
Get the ball in the box now. Come on now. Football is not coming home if Brazil win here today. That's what I'm talking about. Lovely. Yes, Neymar in the box. Hit it. Oh, yes. Oh, hit it.
Wow.
I'll
How do you
tell
not?
one thing.
How do you not just backheel that in?
I know. I'm being very disappointed with Jesus throughout the tournament. I think he's been non-existent.
I mean,
Get your boy Firmino in there. Come on now.
if so Brazil are the favorites to win this tournament, right? I think almost every stage they've been the favorites. It's Brazil. You have an amazing team, and you're the starting number 9 who starts every match for them, and you haven't scored yet. How's that okay? How are we all just going, yeah, that's fine, right? Questions need to be asked about that. Serious ones. The manager, Tite, needs to have a word.
I know. I mean, listen, it's easy for us to say, and I can get
So
that.
easy.
I know, but I mean, but at the end of the day, like, I mean, you know, numbers talk, and you know, you have a player like Firmino on the bench, you know, banging form, lost in the Champions League final. Okay, fair enough, but listen, you know, he's
Scored
played
10.
very
Scored
well.
10 in the Champions League. What was it? 29 in something like that. Overall, it's hard to ignore that, right?
Exactly, like, exactly. I mean, come on, like it just screams out he needs to play, but I mean, I don't know. There's talk that Willian apparently is, I think Barcelona were looking for him, and also Manchester United.
He's had a good tournament. I thought to be honest, I think he's been better than Neymar this tournament.
Do you think so? Yeah. I mean, I suppose, like, what is he, 29 or so? For a winger, he's kind of coming towards the end of that kind of phase where his acceleration is at his kind of peak. But I think he still has it. Like,
He's good, still a good player. I think a lot of I don't know what punditry you've gotten over there, but a lot of people have been harping on Fagner and saying he kind of got caught out a little bit against Mexico, and so Willian is going to have to protect him a bit.
100%. I think Wagner is kind of like their weak link. There he is. There, he plays for Corinthians, doesn't he? Like, so again, I think he had a stint at Wolfsburg a couple of years ago. Didn't really impress. And you're talking about players who are playing for Brazil. So if they do have a weak link, he would be one of them.
Well, he's the third choice right back after Dani Alves and Danilo, right? And he was the one who barely got that call up, and his family were celebrating the fact that he was going to the tournament. And now
Right.
he's the starting right back for Brazil. I mean, we all know some of the players that have.
The lottery.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
look at the Brazil has a pedigree when it comes to right back. You know, world class players throughout the past 20, 30 years, even more, and now he's just happy to be there. That's a little bit alarming, right?
Yeah, the thing about it is, as well, Seb, is that Tite, the manager of Brazil, used to manage Corinthians.
Yeah, I know. They
Maybe that
love each other,
relationship
right?
with him. Yeah, so like there could be that element that Tite kind of trusts him. He knows how he plays. He knows him as a person, and he might be giving him a chance because of that. But again, as you saw, you know, he's not the greatest. He's their weakling. He definitely is their weakling.
And I read another interesting thing is that it's kind of the same deal with Paulinho. He and the manager have like a kind of one of those relationships. So I think that's maybe why. I mean, it's hard to say. Oh yeah, you know, he's not a good player. He plays for Barcelona. He had a pretty decent season for him, but just on the quality alone, you kind of wonder why Paulinho gets so much playing time. I don't think he's that special, is he? Or am I missing something?
Well, I mean, I think a lot of people kind of said that, you know, he had a one-season wonder. I think he went over to China.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people are saying, like, you know, if you go to China, you're basically kind of you're retiring, but you're getting the money. It's basically your pension fund. You're basically giving up. But I mean, if you have Brazil or if you have Barcelona signing him, there must be something there.
There's
and
something,
in fairness to him,
right?
he's played pretty well. Yeah, I mean, we can all judge. We can all go, listen, what's the point? Like, what? Like 40 million? That's a lot of money. But I mean, go on. Oh, if he has that ability, and people like Barcelona are spending that much money on him, he must be good.
I feel like it's strange because we're kind of having two arguments. We're saying one is that we don't see what's good in him, but he's been okay this tournament, and then we come to like Jesus, and then Tite is saying, well, it's not about goals, or it's not about what you see. It's, you know what I mean? Like I feel like you're saying, oh well, it's not what he has done, it's what he could do, but then you're changing the story across players. Like I feel like he isn't really consistent with, you know what I mean? It almost seems like just rationale for picking the guys he wants to pick. I don't know. It just
Yeah,
hasn't.
I suppose if you're an international manager, right, you get to see a lot more of the players in training. So you're there day in, day out, and I suppose they can make a kind of more informed decision because of that. But from what we're seeing, we're kind of going, listen, he didn't do well there. He was at fault there. But I mean, there must be something else to it. Like I mean, and that's why there's so much opinion about who should play where. This player should be over here. This player should be playing there. Like unless you see them day to day, you can't really have the opinion of okay, well, look at the manager and look what he's actually saying.
I totally understand that argument, but I feel like it's more applicable to club play because they see them for 10 months or whatever, you know what I mean? And they do see them every day. Do you? My question to you, Mask, is do these international managers really get enough enough flavor of what their guys are all about, seeing them in international training or a couple times throughout the year when there's no real, oh, here we go. You know what I mean? There's no real consistency.
It's a good question. I mean, I think no is the answer. They don't. But a job as an international manager consists of going to all the matches or some of the matches that your players are playing in. Getting the DVD, getting the highlights of, a certain game. Like they need to be able to, have access to that. They need to be able to be watching that. And are all of the managers doing that? I'm not sure. But the time that they get with the players is minimal. And the other thing about it is that the club teams do not want their players to get injured on international duty.
Of course.
So, I think it was Alex Ferguson used to hate their players, the United players gone away on international duty, especially for friendlies.
Yeah, that's why
this kind of match.
Every Man United player all of a sudden had a little knock that they'd pick up before and rule them out of a friendly, and then they'd be starting the next week for Man United, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I think Roy Keane actually was a massive example of that.
Yeah.
Like the amount of times that he pulled out of the team for friendly matches or for matches that weren't important was incredible. And I think the reason behind that is because of Alex Ferguson. If you look at Ryan Giggs as well, I mean, he was another guy who played a handful of times for Wales when he should have played a lot more. But because, he was there at Manchester United, he didn't. Oh, Lukaku coming in. I tell you one thing, Belgium here are really going for it. They're 1-0 up, but they're kind of going, listen, one is not enough. Let's go for another goal here.
One is not enough. I mean, it just isn't, right? I mean, they know they need another, and you might as well get it now and fluster Brazil rather than have to fight for it when it becomes 1-1, right?
Exactly. I'm looking at another stat here, like that. Brazil haven't been beaten in 2 years, and you're talking about like a team, and you're kind of going, which is the better team out here? To me, it looks like it's Belgium. And like as I said to you, I know you're a bit of a fan of Roberto Martinez. I don't rate him at all, Sevi. I just think he's lucky to be in the job. He's lucky to have a team like he has. It's a golden generation for Belgium, and he got lucky against Japan. If he had lost to Japan, he was gone. He was finished.
I mean, on the other side of the coin, can't you say it was his substitutions that came on and scored the goals? I mean, doesn't he get a little bit of credit for that, for changing it against Japan, or are you going to give him nothing?
Yeah, no, we'll definitely give him some credit for that. But I mean, you're talking about Japan. Okay, so Japan, in fairness to them, they don't have any kind of world beaters. The players that they have that are anyway decent are Kagawa and Honda. Anyway, maybe as well. But when you have a look at the strength in depth that Belgium have, they should be beating Japan off the pitch without a problem. And they came back, okay, fair play, and substitutions work or whatever. But no, you can't give that all to Belgium, because for 55 minutes of the game they played really, really bad, like really bad.
Well, they're 1-0 up against Brazil now.
They are, yeah. I mean,
Unbelievably.
like, could you imagine like the fact that, you know, Roberto Martinez, because he doesn't have a good reputation at all in England, by the way. Like, people are kind of looking at him, kind of going, "Listen, this guy is lucky to be where he is." But you said that you quite like him. You quite, you know, think that he has a bit about him, but I just don't know. I think he's lucky.
He must have had something. I can't be the only one that sees it. Otherwise, you know, I think the Belgium FA, they knew, you know, after last tournament, they know this is a special team, a special group of players. So they have the power. They don't have to just hire anyone. They know that they could attract a big manager to come coach these players that they've got. So they must have seen something as well. I'm guessing. I don't know.
What, Sevi, the only reason why he took the job was, okay, so he's getting paid 600,000 euros a year, okay, which is nothing for like a manager at his kind of level. But the only reason why he took the job was because Everton had to pay him 10 million when he got sacked. So he's basically getting 10 million, or he's basically getting 10.6 million for managing this team, which is ridiculous. But the contract that he had, the clause that he had in the contract was, if he did get another job, they would have to pay the difference in wages. So, listen, could you imagine doing this, right? You're part-time, right? You're part-time. You've one of the best teams in the world. Your manager won the best teams in the world. The quality that he has, and he's getting paid over 10 million. You're kind of going, listen, I mean, come on. I've won the lottery right here. Here we go, though. Oh.
Man, Belgium are asking the questions, right?
They are. They're going for it, and I like it, but I'm just thinking, Sevi, like, I know you're a massive England fan. I know you. Well, I'm just looking at here, man, and I'm just thinking we need Brazil to win, because I don't think we can't have. So it would be Belgium versus France in the semi-final. Who do you think would win that match? Because I think Brazil would beat France. I'm not sure about Belgium. I think if France go to the final, any of those teams on the right-hand side could beat them. Literally, any of the sides on the right-hand side could beat them.
I think the winner of this match beats France. I think either team would beat them. I really do. I mean, France is good. I still feel like they haven't put it all together yet. I don't know. Giroud up top still hasn't really convinced me. I don't know. There's something about the France that worries me, that I feel like the results have maybe flattered them a little bit. Other than the Argentina game where they just took it to them, I thought that was their wake-up moment where all of a sudden they were going to carry that on. And then today against Uruguay, I feel like it was a little bit of a step back. They got the result, but it wasn't the way France wanted to do it. They kind of had to play Uruguay style, and they won a set piece, which Uruguay is kind of actually good at, and then they got a fortunate goal, and that was enough, right? Against the Cavani-less Uruguay.
Exactly. I think with France, again, I'm not convinced by them yet. I don't think they've really kind of performed to their kind of peak so far. Giroud up front, I mean, come on. He barely gets his game for Chelsea. I mean, Mbappe today annoyed me. The fact that he kind of went down, he did a Neymar.
He went Neymar, didn't he? He went full Neymar today.
I was like, dude, come on, like, what are you doing? Like, this is not what you're all about. You're better than this. And apparently, like, he's a very, very clever guy. Apparently, he's like, fairly down to earth, but when he does that, I'm just thinking, no, this is the wrong way to go about it. And it's kind of like the Neymar effect, as you said. Like, it's not good.
Club teammates. Also now, and both teammates of Mr. Gigi Buffon.
Oh, he signed, didn't he? Yeah, for PSG.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
I mean, I don't know. Because looking at Buffon for Juventus last season, he made a few little mistakes. I don't know whether you noticed it as well.
He did.
You wouldn't normally see those kind of mistakes a couple of years ago. How old is he now? What, 37, 38, 39 or something? Or is he 40? I don't know. He's old.
It just feels like a reputation pick where, PSG can just, it's for them, it's just expanding their brand and saying how big of a club they are and all their superstar power, even though you could go out and get a better goalkeeper for cheaper, even possibly already on your own roster, right?
100%. But like the thing is, like I think that if you're gonna go out and buy like one of the kind of marquee players, as you guys will call it, you wouldn't buy a goalkeeper. You know, like you could buy maybe like Ronaldo, and apparently he's gonna go to Juventus now. Apparently he's close to agreeing an 88 million euro deal to Juventus. I mean,
I couldn't be happier about that because I heard that puts Dybala on the chopping block, and you know that's the type of player Liverpool will be very interested in. So I hope it happens.
what was the other statistic? Go on, Brazil. Oh, what was the other statistic? I think you retweeted it actually. It was that Neymar has spent 14 minutes on the floor fucking play acting, and Dybala only spent 22 minutes on the pitch. Listen, if you can get Dybala for Liverpool,
Coup. That'd be it'd be a coup d'etat. That's what it would be.
massive coup.
Uh,
Um,
Terry's telling me this is the first time Brazil has trailed in this World Cup, so that's also an interesting fact.
yeah, well, I mean, this shows if they have a bit of character about them, if they can come back into this. I haven't been too impressed with you so far. I just think that they've been playing quite badly. When they get the ball in the kind of final third, they haven't really convinced. I'd be interested to see actually what the statistics are at half time. But they haven't been clinical. They haven't been the Brazil that we all know and love.
No,
And I've been disappointed so far.
this game has been played at Belgium's pace. They've dictated how this game has gone. And the best teams are the ones who assert their style. So if Brazil wins, they win playing Brazilian, not reacting to another team's style and maybe getting the result. So far it's been Belgium have been the pressing.
Yeah, I mean, they showed a little more confidence now. I like the fact that Lukaku was getting into the game a little bit more. He's done very well there. Out to the wing, maybe. De Bruyne have a shot. Oh, what a goal! What a
Wow.
goal! KDB.
Great shot. That's hard with her right footer coming inside like that. Wow.
This is incredible, Freddie. This is incredible.
That was all Lukaku, winning the ball, getting forward. He rode a challenge, didn't dive down, still played the pass.
So well.
Well done.
Like he came out from deep, got past one or two players. That little ball he put out to KDB. As you said, KDB to finish that was fantastic. But again, what we've noticed here is that when KDB plays a little bit more up the pitch, this is what he does. This is what he's done for Manchester City all season. This is what he can do. Look at this for a finish. Look at that. What's the defender doing, Sevi? Like he's not even going for the ball. He's stepping back. He's going, listen, have a shot, have a go. That Marcelo, what are you doing? No,
And I'll tell you what, Lukaku coming through the midfield just sidestepped Fernandinho. You have to wonder if Casemiro might have been able to get in his way a little or something to do anything other than.
Casemiro, that's what he does for Real Madrid week in, week out. He's that type of player where he can block them off. Again, it did show that, Fernandinho, like, he was exposed there. But I'm really surprised here, man. This is kind of, can't happen.
Fernandinho not having the best game with an own goal and then getting sidestepped by Lukaku at full speed, right? That's not exactly what he was looking to do this World Cup.
These kind of situations as well, it kind of makes a team kind of who we think that are, have the ability, but we're looking for like the unity of the players. We're looking for the unity of the squad now. Do they have that bit about them that they can actually get back into this?
Well,
coming to the well there in fairness.
just enough. They're playing some dangerous balls in, but Belgium they're pretty good at defending those, aren't they?
They are, like, I mean, I'm not convinced by that Belgian defence in fairness, but so far so good. I mean, as I said to you before the game, I wasn't convinced by Company. He's done well so far. So, what do I know?
You do kind of wonder how long he can keep it up for. At some point, right? The Brazil has the quality to maybe expose a little bit of weakness, catch him out, or something.
You'd expect that though, wouldn't you? Like, you expect that from a team like Brazil. I mean, their whole kind of way about them is to go forward, to attack. Their strengths are in the kind of final third of the pitch. We haven't seen that so far.
Now it feels like they're totally chasing, right? Belgium are just knocking it around.
And the other thing about Belgium is they have the quality to be able to do this.
Yeah, they can.
Just to, as you said earlier on, to slow it down a little bit more. Fellaini's in there. This is what he does best. He gets on the ball. He doesn't create too much, but he just takes the pressure off. And look what he's done there. He's just lost the ball.
and then had a kick out. And he looks like, what did I do? Oh my God. I'll tell you what though, if this result holds, you might owe Mr. Martinez a little bit of an apology.
Oh, man,
and a little bit of money. Pay the man. Come on, help him. He's got a family to feed.
I just can't handle this, Savvy, because this gives England a better chance of winning the World Cup,
And you won't. Tell us how you feel about football coming home.
No, listen, I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of it. There's so much kind of, there's a lot of memes or memes, whatever you call them.
Yeah.
About famous clips of movies and them talking about it's coming home.
It's
just
they've overdone it. It was funny. Ooh, it was funny. Jesus missing the header. It was funny for a while, but now that it's just almost every single thing as it's coming home, and you almost get the feeling they start to believe it. Might need them to see them get their hearts ripped out again, so they remember what they do in these tournaments.
How do you fancy Sweden tomorrow? Are you convinced by Sweden, or
I mean, I think
any hope at all?
I think Sweden played brilliant attacking football. It's enjoyable to watch. I love watching them. You love watching them. Yeah, you love them.
Sweden.
I know you're big Sweden fan. I know how you feel about the Swedes. No, I think if for any team other than England, I think they would just dispatch them normally. But England will make a meal out. Though England will win, but they'll make it very difficult. It's way more difficult than it needs to beat Sweden, I think. But that's my expectation.
Yeah, I think with England, they're playing against a team that has only had 36% of the possession so far in this World Cup. England love that because they love to get on the ball. Again, I think with England is that they've scored 7 out of their last 9 goals from set pieces. I reckon that will play into the Swedish hands. I'm not sure if they can kind of cope with that. Brazil on the attack again, not good enough. I think England are going to be in their element. I think it might be a little bit difficult to break them down, but I think they will break them down. And again, I don't know whether you saw the Football Manager experiment. Oh, what a save by Courtois.
Wow. Great shot. Great save.
There's Coutinho. Oh, that was going in as well.
That's what he does. Great save, Courtois. He knows. See, the thing is, Courtois has such a good memory. He knows who's taking a shot and where he likes to hit it, right? God, I think that was a great save, too.
Yeah, there's talk, actually, that he's going to leave Chelsea.
That's crazy to me.
So I don't know what's going on with Chelsea, but I think that there's a lot of politics going on behind the background. Has Conte left yet, or is he still there?
And that's the thing is people are saying, Sarri's first signing is going to be this, and I'm just what about Conte, who's still there? Should we not at least acknowledge that he hasn't left yet? It's crazy.
He's looking for his 10 million. He's looking for his money.
I'll tell you what. If I was getting offers as a top manager at big clubs, you know what I'd be looking more than anything, more than what my role is in transfer policy, more than how much I can spend or anything like that. I would be looking for what is that severance package guaranteed to be. So when I eventually get fired for whatever reason,
100%. And that's the kind of game that we live in now, Sevy, where it's kind of you'll see that some managers who are kind of being brought in to keep a team up, especially in the Premier League, that they'll only get a contract until the end of the season, because if they get relegated, they can just release the manager. And you kind of see that a lot, where there's a lot of kind of mind games going on, where managers now want the 3 and 4 year contracts because they know if they get sacked, that they get a bit of moolah at the end of it.
Yeah, and even on the player side, we start to get weird scenarios about certain milestone targets that players hit, and then it's if so and so scores however many goals and he triggers this bonus clause, and then all of a sudden you see the manager resting him, and that stuff just kind of creates bad blood. It's kind of counterintuitive the way it works.
But you know what? It was actually really impressed by, and I must give kudos to Liverpool and Mo Salah was that. Okay, he signed a 200k a week contract. Fair play to him. That's a lot of money, but he didn't actually have any release clause. Mo Salah,
I love that.
which is nearly unheard of. Which is nearly
Right?
unheard of in today's modern game. And again, it just shows what a top lad Mo Salah is. I have a lot of respect for him and everything that he does on and off the pitch. He does a lot for charity. But he's on 200k a week. I think he's doubling his contract. But he deserves every single penny, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's
Every
great.
single penny.
No, no, you never get any drama with him. No, you know what I mean? He always seems to do things the right way. It's almost weird, but and not to put Zlatan down because I know he does a lot for charity, but he's almost like the anti-Zlatan in terms of everything is about the team and not him, and he's just so selfless about everything. You know what I mean? Like he does all this. When the fans showed up at his house, what does he do? He goes out and signs autographs with them. Doesn't freak out or anything. It's kind of bizarre to have a superstar like that. It's refreshing, maybe is the word I'm looking for, but
Yeah. The other thing about Salah as well, and even, do you know what, I have to give some credit to Ronaldo as well. Like, Ronaldo as well, you know, he gives a lot to charity, like, behind the scenes, and you probably wouldn't have heard of it. But I think with Salah, it's kind of like he does that, doesn't want any fuss about it, doesn't want any cameras, doesn't want any recognition. It's kind of all behind the scenes, and that, again, is a testament of his character, I think.
for sure.
I'm just gutted for him that, what happened to him in the World Cup, because
Yeah.
it just didn't work out for him at all.
No.
At all.
What do you reckon here off this set piece? Another goal?
I reckon go for a shot.
Okay.
Oh no! I tell you what, no, cross it in or go. We went for the shot. Oh, what a save!
He was going for it.
Apparently, Allison, the goalkeeper for Brazil, is being tipped to go to Liverpool.
I think we're going to stick
Convinced?
with Karius. Yeah, I think he's a great keeper. I think we might get held hostage over it. And I don't know. I think Klopp would rather spend in other areas. Don't ask me why, but seems like we might be stuck with Karius again for another year. So that could be fun and entertaining.
I just feel bad for him because I think if he makes one more mistake, there's no more concussion concussion excuses. I think he's going to be on he's going to be on thin ice for the whole time, for the whole season. And if he does make a mistake, that's him finished. Like he can't stay on.
Yeah.
Because the pressure is going to get too much for him.
Of course.
And social media doesn't help because everyone and their dog are fucking taking the piss out of him. I kind of feel sorry.
I mean, that's the thing is, when he plays, everyone's going to be holding their breath, waiting for him to make a mistake. And it's hard in a position like goalkeeper where it's so confidence-driven to go out and not have that on your mind. You know what I mean? Every single match.
Yeah.
Neymar doing his thing
Where's
again.
Neymar here? What kind of ball is that? Okay, he gets the ball back. Okay, fair enough. But give me something here, Brazil, will you?
He's creating when it's far away from goal and doesn't help, and then where is he when you're trying to score a goal? That was
Belgium
weak.
are playing so well.
Here comes another one. Ah,
Right, what the fuck what was that? I mean, come on. Was that Fernandinho?
get him off. Get him off.
Like, Firmino, half-time, Sevi. Bring him on.
You wouldn't even wait. You
Jesus.
just. I mean, Jesus missed that
Oh
header.
no, half-time. Was it 2-0 down? Like, they're 2-0 down. Like, I mean, what you could do is you could take off one of their midfielders and bring on Firmino if you really want to go for it. But
It's too early.
Has been lacking. No, half-time, I reckon. No, they need to go for it. They can't wait. They cannot wait.
I agree you need a sub, and I wouldn't wait, but I don't think you decimate your midfield, especially when they've already been overrun by Belgians right now. You know, like that's.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's two options here where you take away one of your midfielders and then you go with Firmino, or you take off Jesus and you swap him directly for Firmino.
I would probably just Gabriel Jesus off. I mean, it hasn't been working for him. Not from what I've seen.
That's in day one of the tournament so far. Like.
Terry said she was wondering how Pickford ended up as a goalkeeper for England, and then she said when she took a look at all the other Premier League teams, she realized everyone else is playing already for a different country at the World Cup. So there you go.
There you go. I suppose, I mean, Pickford, I mean, fair play to him. I mean, we got to give him respect for what he did. It was a great save that he made, one-handed. You know, a lot of people were kind of like thinking, you know, he doesn't have the experience. You know, he hasn't had a lot of caps for England. But in fairness to him, he delivered, and he did very, very well. And that save that he made, that led to the corner in the game against Colombia was fantastic. And we didn't even get to see a replay of it during the game, because I think it went straight to the corner. And that was going in. That was top corner, Sevi.
And the shot itself was unbelievable, too. I mean, I can't believe he just took that right there out of the air and just had it.
It was audacious.
I loved it.
Well, it nearly worked for him.
Yeah, I find it strange that no one has been able to produce a good replay from behind the shooter where you can see the ball flight with all the cameras we have. Where's the meme on that when we really need it?
Exactly. I'm just looking at another statistic. Eden Hazard has been directly involved in 19 goals in his 18 games for Belgium under Roberto Martinez, scoring 10 and assisting 9.
Yeah, he's their
fire starter. I haven't seen too much of him here, Sevi, though. Like, I mean, have we seen his kind of influence on the game here, or has he been a bit more quiet than he would normally be?
A little more subdued, but I suppose when your other players are scoring goals, or when De Bruyne is shooting like that, that's fine. He still has time to leave his mark if they need him to, but they have the luxury now of maybe not even needing him to do much this game.
Yeah, like, he hasn't been kind of as effective as you would expect, but as you said, you're kind of going, well, listen, he doesn't need to be, because the other players around him are actually getting involved and doing well.
I remember a couple years ago when he was at, here we go, blocked, offside. When Hazard, remember when he was still at Lille and it was unsure of where he was going to go, and Neymar was still at Santos, but it seemed like he was going to Barcelona. At the time, I thought, and it was a lazy comparison, but I thought Hazard had the game to be a little more Ronaldo-esque, and I thought where it seemed more like a sure thing, and because at the time you got to remember that was when Messi was undisputed the best in the world. And I thought that Hazard could maybe kind of reach Ronaldo's level, but Neymar could maybe reach Messi's. I don't know. I feel like their heads aren't in it though. For both of them, they in both departments, both Hazard and Neymar aren't mentally as strong as Messi and Ronaldo have proven to be, at least for the last few years. What do you think?
Well, it looks as though like Hazard is not going to be staying at Chelsea, which is surprising. Like, I'm not sure if he gets on with Abramovich, the Chelsea's owner. There is talk of him going to Real Madrid, and I think that if Ronaldo does leave Madrid, kind of brings in, or he brings in another kind of dimension to what Madrid can offer. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of him. Like, he's done very, very well, and looking at this, like, from his record with Belgium, he's done very, very well. But I think that he has so much more to give, and we're not seeing his full ability, especially for Chelsea in the last year as well. But for Belgium, he's doing very, very well.
Yeah, it's a little disappointing, but hey, like we said, still time today to turn it around. So
here's one for you, Sevi, right?
You got one for me. Okay.
Belgium have failed to score a first half goal in 9 of their last 10 World Cup games. So they've just changed that today.
Rewriting history. Rewriting history.
Live here on the Footballers Convention Periscope page. Unbelievable stuff.
Love it. Love it. Let's take a look at a couple of the stats in this one. I know you're a big stat guy, Mask. I know how much you love it.
I love the stats. You know me.
All right. Let's take a look at some of the team stats. All right.
Off you go.
So Brazil actually have more possession. I mean, I suppose that makes sense when you got to pick the ball out of your own net a couple times, and Belgium have countered.
One thing here that I'm actually quite impressed by, Sevi, and is the amount of successful passes by Brazil. 91%. Again, that's probably one of the top we've seen so far in the tournament. But, is it leading to the final third? Can we have a look at the final third, actually, just to see what the final third passing is like, just to give us an indication? I can't really see that.
So Brazil have 88 passes in the final third, 74 accurate, and that's significantly higher than Belgium, only has 47 in the final third, so just a little more than half attempted. And in accurate, they only have 32, so not as many. But you know, they've attacked, they've pressured. Their goal came from outside the box. So if you can score screamers like that, why even enter?
Yeah, well, exactly. But I mean, if you look at Brazil, and from what I've kind of seen from the first half, is that it doesn't really kind of reflect in those statistics that I'm seeing. Like whenever I see Brazil going forward, it's just that last pass they're missing. It's the last little pass that's going to create the chance that is not there for them.
I think to your point you're making right now is if we look at crosses, Brazil have had 16 in the box, Belgium 5, and they've both connected on 3 of those. I mean, what does that tell you? That Belgium have got Lukaku, who knows how to get on the end of a cross, or when they get their 3 center backs forward, or Fellaini, those guys know how to get on the end of a cross. And who does Brazil have? Is Jesus the one who's going to get on the end of a cross? Is it Neymar? He's not even in the box. It's not Coutinho. We know that. Paulinho maybe if he gets forward, but they don't have the same presence, you know, in terms of in the box, that real striker who loves getting on the end of crosses. I feel like that's really being shown up here in these stats.
And I think you made a good point there. I think the fact that if we look at Belgium, they have Lukaku. He is a guy who knows how to get on the end of a good cross. He's consistently done that for United and for Belgium so far. If we look at Brazil, you know, we're talking about Jesus. What has he done? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. He's been completely out of this game. He's been completely out of this tournament. And he's just not been the player that you would expect. But I mean, in fairness, was he getting too many games for Manchester City? He was their second choice striker, if we really look at it.
Sure.
Yeah, Aguero was their main man, obviously. But
let's take a look at Hazard and Neymar, then the 2 creators, if you will.
Right, okay.
Yeah, Hazard's
so
been
both
been
having
bit
one attempt on goal, only one chance created. But I mean, that's what we kind of saw, though, Sevi, wasn't it? Like the fact that, like, you know, we haven't really seen either player, 2 of their kind of marquee best players on the pitch. We haven't really seen too much of them. Chances created, 1 to Neymar, nothing to Hazard. Crosses 4. Jules 1 though, in fairness to Hazard, he's won 8 of them. He's getting a little bit around it. He's using the big fat arse that he has, Sevi, to really kind of get that, you know, the ball off the opposition.
If you've got it, you've got to use it, just like my mother told me. So, you know, what are you going to do?
Exactly, yeah.
Let's take a look at the action areas here. Yeah, I mean, the game hasn't been played in Brazil's third, except when Belgium have gotten forward with pace and come away with a couple goals there. So,
I mean, this just kind of highlights the fact how ineffective Brazil are going forward. I mean, 32.9%. We don't normally see that high statistic without a team scoring a goal or even having a few little shots on target. It's just not happening for them.
They haven't had that many great clear-cut opportunities. There's always, even when they have what seems like a moment to score, there's always been a Belgian with a boot right in front of them, or you know, Courtois looked pretty composed back there, not too bothered. Maybe that one Coutinho save, but he did get 2 hands on that, I think. So let's see. I'm
very impressed by Courtois. I think he's done very, very well. Whenever he's been tested, he's definitely kind of come up well. Okay, so this is in terms of average positions.
What do you see here?
What do you take from this?
What do I take? Lukaku's playing a bit deeper, but I think that's totally fine because it's worked more or less in terms of them counterattacking. You need him dropping back and then releasing the players who are coming down the right or the left. De Bruyne playing forward is positive. I like that, as you mentioned. I think that's only a good thing. And then it seems like you can see Fellaini and who is it? Axel Witsel and Meunier are camped out on their right side, and the reason for that is to defend against Neymar on the left and Coutinho. They know the dangerous side of the field for Brazil, and they're really camped out, set up there to defend that. And I got to say, that's the genius of Roberto Martinez right there.
In fairness, I think you've made a very, very good point there, and I think you're right. I think the fact that they know where the threat is. Obviously, Neymar, Coutinho on the left-hand side, so they're kind of bulking up on the right-hand side. Now, in fairness, Sevi, you don't need to be a bleeding football masterclass to understand that. So, I mean, okay, Martinez, he got that right. Well, I mean, come on now. You and me could make those decisions on the pitch.
True. Although
Well, maybe not you.
hey, it takes some stones putting out the football clogger, Fellaini and co. out there, and starting them in a match of this importance against a team that really knows how to play football. But I think the strategy is paying off right now, and that Neymar hasn't really been able to find much joy. Coutinho, we know he's always good for a shot if he can get a yard of space. He tested Courtois there, but nothing clear cut. He didn't have clear sights at the goal. So I think it's fine for Belgium. I think they don't really need to even make a change. They just need to wait and see what Brazil does, and then be clever enough or intelligent enough to react to that and nullify that threat.
Exactly. Like, I know, like, that a lot of people say that Marcelo is one of the kind of the best kind of wing backs in the world, but we've just seen in the first half that he has his weaknesses, and that is defending. And this has been shown in the game that he's great going forward, but like when it comes to the old defending, he can be caught out, and he was so far. But I mean, there you go. 53% of their attacking is going down the left-hand side. Coutinho, Marcelo, and Neymar.
Do you think
this is what you'd expect?
Do you think Marcelo looks a little bit rushed back? That maybe he's not fully ready, but they're just in a rush to get him out there?
I actually didn't think he was going to start today. I actually thought that Felipe Luis was going to be starting instead of him because he had that back injury. In fairness, like looking at the highlights here on the TV of the first half, like he's definitely, he's getting involved in the play. Is he 100% fit? I don't know. But a lot of their creativity is coming from him. But again, when it's in the opposition or when the Belgium are on the attack, he's not the most confident.
Let's look at Neymar's heat map here. Pretty good, but you'd like to see him getting closer to the box, maybe, right? I mean, if he is a favorite for the Golden Boot, or was going into this tournament, at some point he's got to get a little closer to the goal.
I mean, if you kind of compare this to what Messi's heat map was in the tournament, we saw that Messi playing in kind of like the middle kind of left-hand side of the park row. You kind of see him a little bit more advanced. You see him in the box a little bit more. You see him getting around the pitch a little bit more. What you would expect from a player like Neymar is to get involved. We want to see this guy involved. We don't want to see him crying on the floor. We want to see him getting around the pitch. We want to see him holding up the ball. We want to see him creating more chances, and he's not doing that in this game, Sebi.
Another player who looks maybe a little out of sorts is Jesus, who we've talked about, and I don't mean to hit a guy when he's down, but I think this touch map.
No, listen, I don't care. This guy's a millionaire.
I love that. No, let's do it. Let's get him.
Like, this guy's a multi-millionaire. Like, I mean, come on. He's gone home to his beautiful wife. And his millions of pounds after this. Listen, he'll be all right. Let's slag him off. Look at this. Look at the state of it. Like, he was absolutely brutal, ineffective in the first half. We saw that by the heat map. He wasn't even getting around. There's no red marks there at all. Terrible. Fernandinho, we can see here like that. Again, he's getting around a little bit more, but he was at fault for the goal, and even for the 2 goals, you could say.
I would say that. I don't care. I'd say that. Yeah, no, I think Casemiro and any center midfielder for Brazil right now has to know, or had to at least know coming into this, that Belgium are dangerous on the counterattack with space. So you have to stop that, whether it's a foul, a pullback, whatever it takes, but or even just position your body in such a way that you make them play away from pressure, and so it takes a little longer for them to build that counterattack, and you can maybe get one more body back, and in the meantime, you can't just run at Lukaku and let him sidestep you as if you weren't even there, because then there was no point in even being there. Belgium continue the counter, and you're heading the wrong direction. So I think you need to be a little smarter than that. And I'm surprised. I mean, Fernandinho is a good player. He plays for Man City. He knows how to play in a style that's not that dissimilar.
Is he Sebi? Is he a good player? I don't know.
He's an expensive player. Maybe.
Listen, the amount of money that Man City have, like they're basically throwing money in at the wall, and they're going, listen, is this guy good? Well, I tell you what, we'll spend 40 million on him, and we'll see. And then he turns out to be shit, and they're all going, oh well, listen, we have another 40 million we can spend on another player. No problem, there you go. And there we go. Let's buy another player.
Have I been blinded by price tag here, Mass? What's happening to me? Am I just falling in love with what the prices they're paying? Am I no better than some of these fans out there? I feel terrible. Maybe have I been hoodwinked? I don't know. I thought he was good, but now he had me questioning everything. I don't know.
Yeah, listen, we have to question everything. Listen, anyway, look at this. KDB, right? We kind of thought he played very well so far, so listen, give him credit for that. One thing I've noticed in this is that he's supposed to get further up the pitch. He's supposed to be in the Brazilian half. Like, he's supposed to be a little bit more up on the right-hand side, maybe. I think, isn't the right-hand side he's playing on? I think it is. Like, you want him a little bit more involved in the game. He's done well so far. He's getting back a lot. I suppose that's kind of shown that he's getting involved and he wants to kind of play. He's kind of like Lukaku as well, where he is playing very, very deep, but he's been effective when he got the ball on the counter-attack that led to the goal.
And what do you reckon when you see Lukaku's heat map? It's a bit strange, right? If you didn't see the name, you'd be like, you'd try to guess.
It's not great,
yeah.
It's not great, but if we look at the difference between him and Jesus, forget about the heat map, forget about the greens, the reds, the yellows, forget about that shit. What really matters is the goals, the contribution, and what role that he has had in Belgium, winning by 2-0 at half-time. And it's been far more.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and we saw 1 assist to 0, and Lukaku's fine playing this. I mean, we he's a big, heavy target man, but people also forget that he is pretty quick, and he, every once in a while he'll have a donkey touch, sure, and that'll get in the memes. But he looked pretty comfortable coming back to the ball around halftime and playing a little 1-2 or a shimmy that lets KDB or lets Hazard get released. And that's fine. Belgium are fine playing that way. If one of those guys needs to be the furthest forward, running with pace towards the goal, that suits them just as well. That's fine. That just gives Lukaku another chance to make a late run into the box and maybe get on the end of something. So I think this is fine. I don't think you panic. When you see Lukaku's heat map this way, you don't panic as much as the way you do when you see Jesus', and that sort of screams more of a lack of involvement or comfort, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if I was Harry Kane right now, I'd be a little bit nervous, I would say, because I think the fact that they've scored 2 already, it could open up Brazil a little bit more, and that gives Lukaku an extra opportunity to score a few more goals. In terms of Brazil's chances here, yeah. Like, what do you make of this?
It's all coming from the left side. It's easy to defend when the team only attacks from one side of the pitch, because all the defenders can just position their body in such a way that they're already shading that side. They're cheating towards the Belgian defender's right side or Brazil's left side here, and that just makes it easier to defend. When it's coming from both sides, you can't cheat either way, and then you don't know how to defend. But it looks like Firmino is getting a run out here. That's good to see.
Oh, he is. Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, I'm delighted. Well, that's what they need, though. They need him out in the pitch, because he is a guy who can actually make a massive difference. In terms of Belgium's attempts here, I mean, that goal by De Bruyne, what a goal that was, by the way. I suppose they've had eight chances, missed 3, saved 2, blocked 2. They've probably done a little bit better than what they would have expected from these kind of types of chances. But listen, fair play. They're 2-0 up, and they've played a lot better.
Well, looks like this one's getting back underway. I'm excited. I hear that no side has ever won a World Cup game that they've been trailing by 2 goals or more at halftime. So
wow.
If you're looking for a team to change that, it would probably be a Brazil.
Well, have a look at the odds, Sibby, will I? Have a look at the odds.
You tell me, Mass. I'm the good church-going boy. I
know you're a betting man. I know you like a good old bet. Poker, is that what you poker? No.
I love the poker. I love the poker.
Yeah, do you actually play poker, no? Or have you played poker?
A little bit. I don't like losing money, though. I don't like taking people's money too much. I feel too bad about it. So, But I like the theory behind it. I enjoy odds and all that. So
yeah,
if you got some good ones on this, let me know. I got a couple comments coming in here. Jimmy Chalk says Brazil era is over. Let me see. Khalil says, hi Khalil, how you doing? Patrick Swayze 78, great name, says they're all garbage. He'd have scored 10 by now. So Swayze was the answer we're looking for. Not Firmino, not Jesus. It was Swayze we were looking for. Who knew?
Okay, look at this. All right, so Brazil are 12-1 to beat Belgium. Look at that.
12-1, huh?
12-1 is big odds. But I mean, oh, here we go. Here's Belgium again.
No, don't do it. Oof.
See, the thing is, and I think it's a really good question to ask. After you lose 7-1 against Germany in a World Cup, like how can you get that? How can you get that out of your head? How can you go into the next tournament 4 years later and go, listen, we've forgotten about that. That's completely gone. We're under like a new manager, a new era now. Or is it going to affect them? You know.
I mean, 4 years changes a lot, so I don't know. It's another little nit there.
It seems as though it's like 4 years ago, like there was so much kind of emphasis on Neymar. I think now they have a lot more players who have a bit about them who can kind of handle the pressure. But what is that? Is that Neymar? Backheel it to no.
That was Firmino. But he did. 2
Firmino?
seconds ago, he did just do that and found
What is it?
Paulinho.
What is he doing? Bring Firmino on. Jesus.
Terrible
Oh,
decision.
here we
Huh?
go. Yeah. Get the ball out.
This is better. This is a little better from Brazil, though. It's a little better.
No, it's not the Brazil we know, though. It's not the Brazil that we like. We know who play the samba, beautiful football. If I was to say football is coming home, I would say that the real home of football is in Brazil. Because their kind of natural, their kind of style normally, historically, is beautiful playing around the pitch, you know, and I want to see more of that, and I'm not seeing it. Maybe the fact that Brazil or Belgium are playing so well in stopping that. Brazil on the attack, though. Now we can do your back heel. No, he gives it away. Company again. Prove me wrong.
That was Neymar.
What do I know?
I'll give you the trick to find Firmino is look for the orange boots out there. Oh no.
Oh, okay.
Lukaku. Well done. That's well defended. God, Lukaku is so big. He's just a monster, isn't he?
He's a beast. Yeah, he's brilliant though. Like I mean, like at the start of the season when he played for Manchester United, he was in really good form. He was like, I think he was like the top goal scorer in the league for a couple of months anyway. But then he kind of faded off a little bit. But he's only young. What is he, like 24, 25? Loads of years left in him.
It's wow that we've heard about him for so long, you know?
He looks older, in fairness. He does look older, but I mean, he's quick, he's fast, he's at an age now where he's only going to get better. I think strikers kind of reach their kind of peak at around 27, 28.
Yeah.
So I think the best of his ability is ahead of him.
Or if he ever wants to switch to center back, he won't peak for another 10 years. So just go to Serie A and reinvent yourself, right? Oh, that was poor. Referee got in the way, huh? But who was it? Fernandinho giving another ball. God. I maybe I just would have brought Fernandinho off. I'm kind of surprised Willian was the one that came off, to be honest.
I mean, I suppose like whenever they gave Firmino the ball, sorry, not Firmino, Willian the ball, you're kind of going, listen, you know, he was going to create. He had that a little bit kind of a good touch. You know, he's the kind of player that can actually hit the ball into the box, cross, and find out a player. So yeah, I'm surprised they did take him off.
I mean, I guess maybe Jesus is they feel he's a little more of a jack-in-the-box striker where maybe he just needs one moment to be brilliant, right?
So how many chances do we need to give this guy before he can actually score a goal? You know, how many matches has he played so far? 4 full matches.
You're right again, Masquinho. I'm falling in love with the price tag, right? I'm just it's shiny and it looks expensive and it's parked in a nice garage and I think it must be good, but you got me.
Exactly. Marcelo, lovely. Yes. No. Oh. Take it.
Is it corner?
So.
Killing me. You're killing me with this half second in the future. I mean.
Oh no, it's not. It's not. It's a goal kick. Oh. Yeah, no, it is goal kick. Firmino got a little touch at the end.
Almost. Oh, it's about a hair away.
What minute are you on? What are your minutes and seconds?
51, 01, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Right,
what are you on?
9, 10.
You got
11.
3 seconds on me?
Yeah.
God, tell me what it's like in the future, huh? Is it good out there? I mean, is it hot?
Oh man, I tell you, it's no. Well, I suppose it is actually not 110 Fahrenheit though.
What is it in Ireland?
I think it's like 25, 26 degrees. So I think that's what, like 82, 83, 84 or something.
That's nothing. That's sweatshirt weather. Still have my jacket on right then.
Oh,
Ooh,
man,
Coutinho
like,
dancing.
you don't understand. You don't understand. Like 110 degrees or 40 degree or whatever you want to call it. Like that is how do you cope in that kind of weather though? Like, I mean, like, can you go out? Can you play football? Can you? Penalty. He says,
Is
get
it?
up. No, he's gone to VAR. What's he doing?
It's got to take a look. You got to take a look.
Well, I'm actually delighted that Neymar didn't actually go down. Like,
Well, let's see the
he'd
replay
been
before we start
absolutely assaulted.
celebrating his.
There's no penalty at all. There's no VAR.
Wow, I find that surprising. Maybe a little bit of crying wolf earlier. Heard his case here.
Well, that's the other thing, Sabian. I think it's definitely something referees are going to look at. They're going to look at. Referees can see the highlights of the games, Neymar. Okay, there is a thing called match of the day, right? And like, they're going to be looking at what he has done and going to give him a decision that might be 50-50 because of what he's like. And okay, he might get away with it in the game, but he needs to think about the next game after that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the referees are going to be on him.
Brazil they're inching a little closer. They're about one little pass away. They're
need to. Was this a penalty? Oh, I don't know.
I got to see another. Here we go. Let's see this angle. No, I don't think so.
Did he get a little touch though at the end?
But it was almost like Neymar kicked his leg back and hit it. Like he was trying to leave it there to get touched. It was very strange.
In fairness to Neymar, he did actually get up fairly quickly after that.
What a feat we're celebrating of Neymar, huh? The fact that he got up.
No, this is the kind of level we're dealing with, though.
Come on, from Marcelo, skin someone.
Yeah, like Marcelo's getting the ball again. He's not being effective. Have you seen him play for Real Madrid during the season at all, or what's your kind of take on that, Marcelo?
You know, I've always thought he was a little bit underrated myself. The fact that he's been at Madrid so long, great ball through, and ooh, wow, and the fact that he's held his position at Madrid, where there's always someone coming for your spot. You know what I mean?
People say like that he's the best left back in the world.
I don't know. He's one of them.
I don't know if he isn't. Have they not seen Moreno play for Liverpool?
Yeah, he's got a good shout for best left back in the world for sure. Andy Robertson, though, hands down the best left back in the world.
In fairness to Robertson, his journey from the last couple of years has been absolutely incredible. I think there was a tweet of like a couple of years ago that he tweeted out saying like that he's no job, doesn't know what to do, and you're kind of looking at that, like from what he's come from to where he's at now, like it's incredible. Here we go, Brazil in the box, find someone, yes, oh penalty,
no, he's giving it. I can't believe it. Well, I got to see the replay of this.
Yeah, look at him, he's there, like just a bit.
Jesus,
he nutmegged him, lovely company. What was the tackle like? I don't know.
Ooh, he pulled out. He pulled out as well as he could.
Oh, man, I don't know. We're going to VAR anyway. No, he got him. I think he got him. The two Manchester City players.
Wow. I love that.
Coming head to head.
There's no reason to go to ground right here. Why even go to ground? Why? Why would you even go to ground? He's not going to score if you stay on your feet. I need to have a word with some defenders nowadays and to teach them everything I know. This is very frustrating. Neymar's going to bury this, huh?
Do you know what? I have to say, like, I love the whole kind of VAR experience of, like, is it a penalty? Is it not a penalty? Like, it adds a bit of drama, but I'm not convinced by it at all. And I think we're going to look back at this in around 20 years and we're going to laugh. We're going to laugh at these decisions that they have been making. And it's not a penalty. It's not a penalty. I thought it was. I thought he clipped him.
Wow. So maybe VAR and 3D will be the experience you like. I don't know.
But I mean, like, you're bringing in this technology that is going to affect games left, right, and center that hasn't really been proven. Okay, you know, they might have trialed it in the Bundesliga for a year,
Yeah.
but they haven't really had it at this level. And they're bringing in this to like the world's biggest sporting event without being fully kind of
Vetted.
tested. You know, I just don't know, man. I'm not convinced. It's great though. It's great for the game. Listen, I don't mind watching other teams have to go through the trauma and the torment of VAR. I'm sitting here being a neutral, as I always am, going, listen, fair play. You fucking go ahead with it.
Jesus finally off now. Douglas Costa on. He's a handful.
Yeah, Douglas Costa, like he's decent. Like I think he plays for Juventus, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's kind of like if he was, or if Neymar was injured, he'd be the player who would actually replace him.
That's what you kind of get the feeling,
He's
right?
that he's a bit about him.
Brazil trying to flick every single pass. This is unbelievable. I'm really enjoying that Miranda and Lukaku battle that we've seen a few times now. And I only feel like there's going to be more of that since Brazil are pressing so high. And when Belgium counterattack, it seems to be getting Lukaku on Miranda Island. So that's one to keep your eye on if you like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I haven't been too kind of impressed by Miranda, in fairness. I don't rate him that highly. I think, again, it's another one of Brazil kind of weak kind of links. I think Fagner and Miranda are probably two of their weakest kind of players. Like Fernandinho's definitely not doing himself any favours out on the pitch right now, either. But you look at the Brazil fans here, this guy's praying to the Lord.
To Gabriel Jesus.
Well, the Belgian fans are having a few beers. They're like, yeah, here we go. You pray away.
There's got to be a goal. I mean, Brazil aren't going to get shit out here, right? There's at least one in this for them. And then you have to figure if there's one, then there's hope. They
need to score in the next 10 minutes. If they score one in the next 10 minutes, there is definitely hope.
I disagree. I think they could score two in the last 5 minutes of the game. I think no lead is really safe with Brazil. I honestly think they could score.
Sevi, I'm glad you actually disagreed with me on one occasion, and there's always a first for everything. I'm glad to hear it.
You're not often wrong, but I just
Now, what I will say though, Sevi, is that I'm looking at the on-screen graphics here, and it's shown that Brazil's passing accuracy has gone down a little bit. It seems as though that it's gone down from 91% to 84, 85%, I think it was. Again, they're under a little bit more pressure. This is where it counts. This is where it really, really counts. Can they perform? Can they make a difference in the last third of the pitch when it matters?
It's gone down, for me, I'm showing Brazil's gone down 1%. They might have been showing the last couple minutes, so we'll keep our eye on it though. We'll keep you
absolutely.
We've got the stats here.
Again, I think I'm thinking about it because I'm in the future as well. I'm like 3 seconds ahead of you, so there might be a difference there.
Hey, if you've got some good betting tips for me, you let me know, okay? You let me know what it's like in the future. I don't know if you saw Back to the Future too, but
that's right, with the little book, the almanac.
Yeah. You are my almanac. You're my Biff, so you let me know.
Yeah, exactly. So listen, remember when I said that Brazil were 12-1? They're actually now 10-1. So how does that make sense?
For me,
so
now.
They were 12-1 with less minutes to go. They are now 10-1. So the bookies are saying that Brazil have a better chance of winning this game, even though there's less minutes on the pitch or in the match.
That's called the Firmino effect, son.
The Firmino effect.
There it is. See, Miranda and Lukaku, they're going to be going at it. I'm not saying I think Miranda's a great defender, but they're both really going for it. So it's going to be interesting to see who gets the better of that.
Well, I mean, so far, it looks like Lukaku is, the better man in that kind of case. They give the ball away.
There's no need.
Shadley.
That was poor.
Shadley with his man bun, representing the hipsters. Oh, here we go.
Here we go. Look at that back post run. Oh.
Oh, he slid it across. He got greedy. Hazard got greedy in World Cup shocker.
I think
Oh my God.
I think that first pass should have gone to the other side. I think it should have gone to Lukaku, not Hazard, right?
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, exactly.
He could have slid him right through there, just a little
Yeah,
outside of the right.
I know he was probably thinking, there's a goal right in front of you there. Take a shot. But if he had just looked up a little bit more. Here we go with Brazil. Here we go. Yes, hit it. No.
Paulinho.
That was your opportunity. Great play by Courtois, in fairness to him.
Yeah, it was. Great work, though, by Costa, huh?
It was, yeah. Again, he's shown a bit of life about him.
Yeah, he's
Here we
clever.
go.
Now they're getting a little frustrated. They're getting a little frustrated.
But this is when the big test is, though. That was a fantastic save. Have you did the replay there, have you?
Yeah, that was good. But Paulinho wasn't even set. Look, it just falls to his feet.
Who's been your man of the match so far, actually? Because I know who I'm going to pick.
Man of the match. De Bruyne's goal was great, but I don't know. Maybe Lukaku. I don't know. Courtois. It's got to be Courtois, right?
I was going to say.
That's
Courtois
what
so far has made at least 3 major kind of saves during the match so far. I think he's played very, very well.
He's made some things look comfortable that really are kind of quite difficult.
Exactly. But the size of him, though, he's like, what is he, 6'4"? He's an absolute beast, monster.
He's a big lad.
But he's done well. This is kind of like Belgium's first kind of test of a real team. I know they played against England, but we're talking about like proper teams here, and this is definitely a case where, can they sustain this amount of pressure? Can they sustain an attacking forwards like the likes of Firmino, the likes of Jesus and Neymar?
I like how you've completely given up of pretending that you want England now for your viewers and your fans.
I'm sick of it, Sebi. I'm just sick of it at this point. Fantastic. They're doing well, and I love to see people enjoying themselves. I love to see people celebrating the fact that their nation is doing very well. I love it, and I think it should be encouraged. But I also think that humility should be encouraged, and I also think that people who are only getting into "It's Coming Home" bandwagon are only singing when they're winning. When they weren't supporting the team, when they were playing against Slovakia away, something doesn't sit right.
You like fans paying their dues a little bit.
I think it's not like a snobbery kind of thing. It's not like, why weren't you not there for the away match against blah blah blah. It's not about that. It's about where were you when things were down? Where were you when we were seen as a laughing stock of the world? Where were you when people were taking the piss out of us from the style of play, from the manager that we had? And now, Gareth Southgate is basically seen a messiah,
Yeah.
In fairness, I actually do like Southgate. I think he seems like a really nice guy. He seems like a fella who, knows what he's doing. But the English media were taking the piss out of him. And they have been taking the piss out of him for the past, 20 years, 22 years.
To be fair, has anyone ever seen Southgate and Christ in the same room at the same time? So I'm not really sure.
And Christ, is that what you said?
Yeah. I'm just saying, I've never seen them together, so.
Yes, no,
Could be. Could still be on. What are the odds on that? 10-1? I'll take that.
I'll take that bet.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it was a lot easier to cheer for England when they're in the group stage than it is once they start getting to the knockout rounds or the latter stages of the knockout rounds.
I've seen your retweets. Hold on, let me go through your retweets.
Check the history. Check the history. Check the DMs too. Let me know if you find anything really good.
Talking about Sebi Sanchez's his retweets here. Look, it seems to be quite England friendly. I'm not going to lie to you.
Hey, I know my audience.
Yeah.
Just for the English-speaking world.
Yeah, in fairness though, you should have heard if the stuff that Sevi says on camera and off camera when he's talking about England. I'm telling you, he's been exposed right here live on Periscope.
I'll tell you the truth about the food and that. It seems more your style. When you said, I don't like things with spice or flavor, you must like the fine dining of London. I'll tell you, the best food is the Indian food. It's the curries. That's the most flavorful food in England.
Vindaloo, I think, is it?
Yeah, it's
Vindaloo.
Oh, so Witsel got a little pass to the head. Fernandinho has been a liability. I would get him off.
Yeah, he hasn't been great. But he got kicked in the head. We just stop. We just stop.
That was Rivaldo against Turkey, right?
Exactly. I was exactly thinking that. Like,
Terry, you can find that clip, Rivaldo against Turkey. When he gets hit, he's going to take a corner and the ball hits him and he acts like he's been shot.
Yeah.
Don't show Neymar, though. Please don't show Neymar. He doesn't need to learn that kind of trick.
But, like, again, people, they must know, like, that, like, doing that is not going to help their cause. It's not going to help their image. Like, it might get a player, a yellow card. But, I mean, is that the way you want to win? Is that the way you want to win? By cheating? You just don't. And here it is here. In fairness to was it Turkey they were playing against in this clip here, he did whack the ball fairly hard at him, but it didn't hit him in the head.
It hit him in his leg. It hit him right in
his leg, yeah.
And look, he's holding his face. Look.
Yeah.
Genius. Genius.
That is pretty bad.
Hey, you know what? Van Gogh wasn't appreciated in his time. It took a few years. So one day we'll look back at that as a piece of art. James Joyce, would you like Joyce? Is Joyce more comfortable for you?
Yeah, James Joyce. I know, yeah, James Joyce is a good poet, author. Van Gogh. It's Van Gogh, though. Is it Van Gogh?
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll ask the Dutch in 4 years when they're back. We've got a few years. Yeah, we've got a few years to figure that out before we have to worry about that.
So, is it actually going to happen in Qatar? Like, because I'll tell you one thing, they're buying a lot of advertisements on the at the football grounds. I mean, the amount of money that they're spending is absolutely incredible. Is it going to happen? I'd love to see it happen in Australia. If it is in Australia, it would just be so much better.
Oh, bad touch. I'll tell you what, that little injury, though.
Here, look at him.
Wow.
Look at the speed of this guy.
Wow.
Look at the speed. Oh, he's too much.
No, he's still there. Oh, he's a beast, though, man.
It really is. Like, I mean, like, he's a big guy, and like he's able to kind of get around the pitch like that. Like, there's not many people who can do that. Do you remember when Ronaldo was playing, like the real Ronaldo?
Yeah, R9.
He had, yeah, like he had like a lot of, flair. Ooh, but he didn't really have the pace like Lukaku has.
You know who Lukaku reminds me of the most is Adriano when he was at Inter.
Oh, what a player! Yeah, he was incredible. What happened to him? Did he go back to Brazil and did he get caught with substances? I think.
Yeah, I think he was a total head case. I think his father passed away, and he just had bad people around him, and he had a lot of insecurities that came out. Oof, almost through. Yeah, that was sad. He could have been a great player. I mean, he could strike a ball. He was quick.
He was brilliant.
Yeah.
In I think it was Pro Evolution Soccer. Did you ever play that game?
No, but I have a feeling you did.
Yeah. So in that game, I think for like a couple of years, like he was like the #1 player. Like you gave the ball to him, and he'd just be able to shoot from anywhere, and it hit it in the goal. Like he was so good. That was a foul there.
Oof. I mean, Neymar
does well. Neymar, didn't he? When he kind of went down, like he's getting frustrated.
He takes a lot of abuse. I mean, he does get fouled a lot. That must get kind of frustrating. But
please don't tell me you feel sorry for him, though. I mean,
no, I don't. I
just feel sorry for him.
I'm just recognizing the fact that he is still fouled more than not. So,
right. One thing I'm noticing here, Sevi, is that like it looks as though Brazil they're not trying to get involved. They're not trying to get the ball into the box. They're shooting from distance a lot more now. It's not being effective at all. But it kind of goes to show how well Belgium are doing defensively. They're really blocking them out here.
And Courtois is a great shot stopper, so that's fine. That's fine for Belgium.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%.
You'd be a little more worried if you had to put him in a one-on-one or force him to come out a little more. But he's fine staying back there and just blocking shots away. You can parry those all day.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. Hazard is down. What's wrong with him?
I got a feeling we're going to have a couple more minutes added to extra time here. I just have a feeling.
Well, that's the other thing about like VAR is the fact that they're adding so much more time. It's
Has
like
it been?
5 minutes, 6 minutes.
Is that to your detriment, though? I mean, don't you want to get a little more game time? Avoid the responsibilities of life for two and a half more minutes?
Oh yeah, I mean, listen, it's better for the fan, I suppose, to watch a little bit more of the action. But I want to know how they actually add it up, though. Like, is there a point where that if you get substituted, in extra time, there's an extra 30 seconds added on? Is that right, or how does it work? Like, how does the extra kind of time work? Like, is it 30 seconds per injury? Is it a minute? Or, like, is it timed? Or, I don't know.
You know what? The one I always liked the most that I saw before, and I don't think the referee's doing here, and I don't know if he's allowed to, but I've seen a referee keep 2 watches, and one is like a stopwatch that he starts and stops every time he feels that time is being wasted, and then he just looks at that at the end of the game and adds however much time is on that onto the end of the match. I always liked that. I thought that was a fair way, rather than arbitrarily just saying what a substitution should be. You know, like it should be 30 seconds added or whatever, because we all know that's not necessarily the case. Come on, Brazil.
So there's what, 17 minutes to go plus extra time or plus stoppage time. I don't know. I mean, I don't think they're going to get it. I really don't.
You think it's too late?
I think it's.
How did Firmino come out with that ball? What the fuck?
But like, if you look at when they're on the attack, like I know like they should be doing it, and Belgium are doing it well. But like, there's so many players behind the ball, and that Brazil are just not able to. They're just not able to get through, and they're making mistakes like the player did there. Like he just kicked the ball into nothing.
Yeah, that was a
and
busted
like the
cross.
thing is about Brazil is that like they're not used to losing games. Like, but the other thing is either are Belgium like Belgium are like unbeaten in 23 games. Like there's 2 teams who are going into this game who are not used to losing.
I feel like though, if there's a squad that can break down a camped out team, it's got to be Brazil. They've got at least.
It's got to be Brazil. Absolutely, I agree with you. Like there's no other team really that you'd be more kind of confident of than Brazil. Here we go.
Right.
Here we go. Find someone. There's no one there. Oh man.
Oh, poor shot. It's not happening for Neymar.
Not at all. Who's that? Like, oh.
Well, there's a bit of push in there, huh?
A little bit, but I mean, yeah, not that much though.
It's calling for a handball. That's a bit optimistic. Here we go. Now we're getting some in stuff here. This is what we came to see, Mask.
Exactly.
Neymar's
So
got passed.
Belgium's last 2 World Cup campaigns ended with elimination against South American opposition. Brazil in 2002 and Argentina in 2014. Here we go. Here we go. Come on.
It's coming home. It's coming home.
Come on. One more. 15 minutes.
Great substitution, huh?
Come on. Come on. That was a great goal. Augusto.
You'd only just come on.
Yeah. Great ball in. Beautiful ball in. Well weighted. He did well there to finish. That was Coutinho with the ball in.
Good ball over the top.
He did well to finish that.
But
right in the corner.
But to your point earlier, they didn't just. Coutinho could have tried to just hit that miracle curler from outside the box, and he didn't settle for it. He picked out a run, put it close to goal, and now look, they have a shot from close to goal, and he's able to beat Courtois. That's what they need to do.
This again highlights the fact that this player, Renato Augusto, comes on to the pitch. He's only on a couple of minutes. And Jesus has been given those chances before and it hasn't been able to take them. And you're kind of going, listen, that proves the point. If Brazil, and I hope they do, get to play against France, Jesus needs to drop. He needs to be on the bench. There's no doubt about it.
I mean, Firmino's looked better to me just from when he's come in. He's looked a little livelier, gotten more players involved.
He scored a goal as well, didn't he, in the last game or the game before?
Yeah, he did. Belgium still camping out, though.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
Marcelo. Okay. Ooh. Wow, that was close. Anytime you go up with a boot like that, ooh.
When did Brazil last win the World Cup? Was it 2002, was it?
Yeah, Korea, Japan, when they beat Germany. Oliver Kahn's.
Yeah, so it says here, their last win against European opposition in the knockout stage was the 2002 final against Germany.
Sounds about right. Yeah, France knocked them out in 2006.
Yeah. Oh, here's KDB. Here we go. Loads of space. Oh, good tackle. Right, come on. Out with the ball. Get up the pitch. Coutinho, come on now. Neymar.
A little bit of purpose now. Here you go.
Yeah, come on now.
Firmino's making the run.
Yeah. Oh. 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 Oh! I know I'm a couple of seconds ahead. I was close though.
Good control. But I mean, that's just, he missed it, but that's a little different than what Jesus was doing. You know, he made a different run. He kind of had a little bit of guile about the way he controlled it. It's something different, right?
You wouldn't really expect. I mean, he kind of picked out a ball there like that. You wouldn't really expect him to do. You'd probably expect him to move the ball down the side a little bit more and then cross it in over the top.
Yeah, a little more unpredictable though. But that's kind of what you need to unlock a Belgian defense that's experienced, composed, and is kind of camped out in their own box now, right? You need a little.
I think you're right. I think you're right. Like the fact that like you're not doing the obvious kind of play, but you're trying to do something a little bit different.
That was ambitious. Ooh, he somehow kept it.
Oh, here we go. Corner kick. Come on.
All right, who's going to score this goal? Who's going to score this one for Brazil?
Neymar,
What's that?
Scores the goal, celebrates by crying on the pitch.
Yeah, while the game's still going on.
Yeah. What the other thing about it is, and like I think they were playing against Costa Rica in the group stages, and after the game, Neymar was on the side of the pitch, you know, praying to God and bleeding, crying, and you're kind of going, is this the pressure that these players are under, or is it just that he's on stage again and he's acting? You know, like you're kind of going, okay, so you beat Costa Rica, you should have beaten them anyway, and you're doing that.
Yeah,
is that showing the pressure, or is that showing like?
If you're celebrating like you won the World Cup for just that result, boy, you've got some games ahead of you that you don't know what's coming, right?
Exactly. That's what I'm kind of thinking. Like, I mean, you know, I know like they scored 2 goals in the last couple of minutes, and I appreciate that. But I mean, at the same time, like, you know, I wouldn't be celebrating that. I wouldn't be crying about that.
It's kind of one of those. In America, we always say like act like you've been there before a little bit. You know, like you don't need to celebrate that. Like save
100%.
that for when you get when it's all over. But you know, until then, you just kind of nod your head a little bit, and that's it. Hit it.
You missed it. It's kind of like when you go to the bar, like to a bar, like for the first time. Like it's like I know it's 21 over where you are, like it's 18 where we are. But if you go to the bar the first time, like you don't go up there nervous, going asking for a beer, like if you're like 17.
Yeah, act like you've been there before a little bit. Got a comment.
Like you've been there before.
How big of an upset is this if Brazil loses? How big of an upset is it for you, Mask, if Brazil loses this?
I wouldn't say it's an upset if Brazil do lose this, but you're talking about like 2 of the best teams in the tournament so far coming together in the quarterfinal stage. Like there's always going to be one team that are going to be upset, that are going to be annoyed, but I don't think it's an upset if Brazil go out, because Belgium, as we've seen so far, have played well. Defensively, you know, they're very, very strong. Going forward, you know, they're pressing well. You know, the thing is, and we need to remember, is that Belgium are playing one of the best teams in the world right now, and they're making them look ordinary. You don't normally see that. You don't normally see that in games. Like when France played against Ireland a couple of weeks ago in a friendly match, France were absolutely all over Ireland. Ireland were really, really bad. But then when I saw Uruguay play against France today, I was kind of thinking, they're making them look ordinary. And when you make a team like Brazil look ordinary, you're doing a great job.
Yeah. And to get back to the other question, like I don't think any result here is a shock. No one got embarrassed, upset. There's no nothing would surprise me. They're both very good teams, and anything could really happen in this. So maybe a little bit of a shock in that Brazil were so heavily favored going into the tournament. But I mean, so Belgium were right up there too. I mean, everyone knows what they're about. We've had 4 years or so to know that this is Belgium's golden generation. They're just as good as any team. So nothing shocking, but. Except maybe how comfortable they've been a little bit in the second half. I kind of thought they'd be a little more uncomfortable with the way Brazil are now starting to throw everything, or should be throwing everything at them.
I know, but like you're talking about it like a team like Belgium. Like this is probably their last chance as like the golden generation. It's now or never for Belgium. So if the players know that, which I'm sure they do, they're kind of going, listen, we have the players. It's a small country, Belgium. Their population isn't that big. I think it's like 11 million, 12 million people living in Belgium, maybe even less actually. And look at the players that they have. It's world class in nearly every position. They have, in my opinion, the best player in the Premier League in KDB. And they have Lukaku up front. They have Eden Hazard. I mean, any of those players would walk into any team in the world. Barcelona, Real Madrid, Liverpool, Shamrock Rovers. They would walk in to any of those teams. So, like, am I shocked? No, not at all, because Belgium are that good. All right, come on, Brazil, get back into it. Lovely ball, Neymar. Show me your worth.
Wow,
yes.
Look how many red
hit
bodies.
Hit it! Oh, man, that should have been in the top corner.
Oh,
what are you doing?
You can't open your foot that
wide.
wide.
He did everything fucking right. The last little bit.
Why even use the inside of your foot there? Why not just keep your foot over it and drive it? That was a good ball. Neymar did pretty well.
Oh, was that Coutinho? Was it?
Yeah. That was bad.
You'd put your house on Coutinho to get that on target. Like.
Why use the inside of your foot on that? I don't know.
You want to drive it, don't you? You want to get your knee over the ball.
He scored in the tournament earlier, just a goal like that, and he kept his foot over it and went near post.
Yeah. Right, come on now.
That was a good ball.
Here we go. 6 minutes.
Plenty of time.
Yeah. Coutinho here.
Get out of the way.
It's going to take a moment of genius, I think, again. I reckon Coutinho for the next goal.
Yeah?
But they're a bit exposed here. Hazard on the break.
This is dangerous.
What do you... Was that a good tackle or no? That was a free kick. I suppose that was good kind of professional foul, they call it, I think.
Very professional.
Yeah. Fernandinho.
Not his best match.
Yeah, like the only thing I'd say about this is that if Brazil are really going for it and there's 5 minutes to go in this game, is that they're going to be exposed at the back. And we know that Belgium are a team that can counter-attack. They can get the ball and they can move it up the pitch really, really quickly. They're no Sweden when they get the ball on their counter-attack.
Lightning quick counterattacks.
I've seen pensioners run up and down the pitch quicker than a Swedish counterattack. Toivonen and what's his name, Berg. It's funny to watch.
God, can you imagine if they beat England? England will have no excuse then.
But here's the other thing, is that everyone is singing England's praises in England. If they were to lose against Sweden, I wonder how much that would change. I wonder how much the opinion would change on Gareth Southgate, on Dyer, who scored the winning goal. You know, what are they going to say? Are they going to say, "Oh, listen, we got to the quarterfinals. That was part of our ambition before the tournament," or are they going to be like, lost to a team that we're expected to beat.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy right now to talk about how England have overcome the penalty shootout and this and that, and they're into the quarterfinals. You could also say, okay, you barely beat Tunisia, you thrashed Panama, lost to Belgium, barely beat, I can't remember, who was it they played the other
Colombia.
day? Yeah, Colombia. You barely beat Colombia, who was missing their best player, took penalty kicks, and then you lose to Sweden, right? That's not that impressive anymore.
Yeah. Do you know what I was actually more disappointed about? Not the fact that England won, but I had a tweet ready to go out.
Well, what did it say?
It's Colombian home.
Ah.
I mean, how beautiful was that in terms of a tweet? That would have gone viral. We would have been on the front page of Bleacher Report again. Like we were last year. I'm not even joking. But yeah, I'm disappointed about that. It would have been great. It's Colombian home.
Well, you've got a couple days to think about something with Sweden. Something. You're a
here
clever guy.
Neymar.
Why? God, he's just running out of ideas, isn't he?
Yeah.
He just looks, doesn't see anything, and thinks he can just keep dribbling with it.
One little touch too far, like.
That wasn't even a little touch too far. He whacked that out of bounds.
He whacked it, yeah. I mean, like, the funny thing about this is that I'm looking at the bench here and I'm kind of going, Thierry Henry is an assistant manager of a winning quarter-final team in the World Cup. Thierry Henry.
Good for him.
He was doing adverts for Peugeot a couple of years ago, and now he's this assistant manager. I mean, come on. Va-va-voom.
You think he's telling them to use their hand a little bit if they get too close?
Oh, listen, exactly. We've talked about this before, but, I mean, yeah. It's cheating. Like he's actually getting for Sky Sports, right? You know the way he like an analyst or like a commentator for Sky Sports.
Yeah.
He's getting 80 grand a week. 80 grand a week for that, and he's manager of or he's assistant manager of Belgium. You're kind of going, this guy has it good.
That's a pretty good gig. Maybe better than Roberto Martinez's gig.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh, the first touch.
That was sent that in a little hot, huh?
Yeah.
Still plenty of time for a couple more chances.
What you reckon? Oh, here we go. Yeah. Oh, two players on a company did very well there. Hazard again. Oh.
He's so good at turning away from pressure, isn't he?
Yeah. That's what. Yeah. I mean, with that big ass in the way. I mean, that's what he does. Though, in fairness. He gets involved.
That's what he's built to do, right?
Yeah.
Fagner.
He got the ball there, did he know? Or?
Oh boy, Brazilians looking nervous.
Yeah, they're. Oh man. I mean, this would be a failure for Brazil if they got knocked out right now. Like this would be. I reckon, like even though like the manager has such a good kind of result path over the past couple of years, I reckon this could be it if he does get knocked out here.
Just giving up 2 goals, yeah. Still time, Ask.
Still time. 5 minutes, I reckon. 5 minutes it is, yeah, 5 minutes exactly.
Oof. No.
Mystic Mask.
God, Neymar. Everything Neymar has complained about is now coming back to hurt him. He's saying he got fouled. Let's see.
Oh, stop, will you? Come on, get up, Neymar.
It's not
You're not
enough.
doing yourselves any favors at all, pal.
I think that is a corner kick, though. It did look like it.
Go to VAR.
Nike's calling it in, saying, guys, help us out here.
The only thing that it should go to VAR is for crimes against haircuts. Look at the state of that haircut. I mean, you thought his spaghetti style haircut in the first couple of games was bad. Look at the state of this.
Oh, he poked his eye.
Is that what he said?
It looked like it, but he's destroyed his reputation. I mean, he's not getting these calls now. Everyone thinks that he's looking for it, and he is.
Yeah, but I mean, like since when has his reputation kind of been good though? That's the other question. Is like it's always been like this. It's always been like, oh, Neymar, get up, you're a diver or you're a flopper, as you guys call it. Like, you need to kind of like understand like that if you do these kind of theatrics, there are consequences to this, you know, and that's all down to his personality. That's not down to like his ability as a football player. That's his kind of his head and how he kind of deals with situations. That's his immaturity, in my opinion. Because if you are a guy who knows exactly what he's doing, you would understand that doing this with all the cameras around you, that you're doing yourself an injustice, because in the long term, here we go, Coutinho, good block by Fellaini.
Belgium can break again.
Is that KDB out in the wing? He's loads of space. What are you doing going on the right hand side?
Selfish.
Miranda though, fair play to him. Oh, you got the ball, I think. 3 minutes left.
Oh
here
boy.
we go.
Brazil are on the way out. I can't believe it.
Martinez, the tactical genius, from Wigan to the World Cup semi-finals. It's nearly as good as Andrew Robertson's kind of
Career arc.
path.
Yeah.
His rise.
Meteoric.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the movie Mike Bassett, England Manager?
I did actually, yeah. What did you make of it?
I love that. So anytime a manager comes from lower leagues or whatever, I can't get enough of it.
Right, Marcelo. Here we go.
Oh, what was that?
I think Brazil need to get more players up the pitch.
What, Neymar just ran to get that ball. What was that?
Yeah, they are getting them in the box though. Marcelo's on the edge of the box. Marcelo on the edge of the box. Oh, he's gone around. Oh, okay. Oh, what a save! What a save by Courtois! That was going in the top corner. That would have been oh my God. That was going in. Oh, mate. Yeah, I think it was going in.
Couldn't leave it.
Neymar. Keeper. Alisson, get up there, will you, pal?
How about a Miranda header? How about that? Would that make you happy?
Miranda header. Yeah, listen, anyone. Why isn't Alisson not getting up for this? Oh, there he is there. Finally. Yes! Is football about to come home? This is the big question.
It's coming home.
England will now have one of the the easiest passes to the final. And then probably the best team in the world, in my opinion, are not going to be on the left-hand side. This is England's chance.
It's coming
to
home.
win the World Cup. This is their chance. Here we go. KDB. If I was you, pal, I'd stick it in the corner. Stay in the corner.
Don't go anywhere. There you go.
And he's got in the corner. Look at him. He's got yes. Have we done it? Have we done it?
Surely that's
Here
enough.
The Belgian fans are going mild. Go on. Yeah.
This is it. This is it.
This is
one
it.
more corner. Get one more corner is all you need.
Here we go. Right, get the ball, launch it up.
Foul.
Launch it. Alisson getting the ball, boot it up. Route one. Everyone else get up the pitch. That's it. That is it.
That's it. Brazil are out.
Brazil are out of the World Cup. Belgium
Hit them with two early goals. Wow.
to the semi-final against France.
Unbelievable. I don't know. Should have played Firmino a little earlier. Shouldn't have stuck with Jesus the whole game, maybe. I don't know. Casemiro, that was a big miss, too.
Yeah, it was, in fairness. It was a big miss.
Wow.
I just can't believe it. I just can't believe it. Courtois, man of the match for me.
Yeah.
He did incredibly well. He made around 3 or 4 amazing saves to stop a goal from going in.
Wow.
He deserved it.
So France.
Courtois is speaking. Look at this. Courtois is speaking with Felipe Luis, who plays for Atletico Madrid. Are they talking about will he go back to Atletico?
I'm sure
He's definitely going to leave Chelsea. Could he go back to Atletico Madrid? That's the question.
You love all the gossip, don't you?
Listen, it's all about. It's all about.
Keeps you young. it's hard. I mean, they're both great teams, but France or Belgium, one of those teams is playing in the World Cup final. I don't know. I can't get over the fact that it's not a Germany or an Argentina. It's hard for me to see, or Brazil.
Sevi, you've seen the games though. Like,
Yeah.
We've watched them together. We've seen Argentina. We've seen Germany play. They were shite. They were brutal. They don't deserve to be this far in the competition. Belgium, in fairness to them, have played pretty good football. They have been. They've shown heart as well. They've come back from 2-0 to beat a fairly lackluster Japan side. But again, they showed that they have the ability to be able to compete, and they have the ability to come back. And fair play to them.
You know what I want to take a look at? I want to start by looking at the goalkeepers and comparing some of their stats, just to take a quick look, see if there's anything we see here. Look at that. Are you seeing what I'm seeing here, Mass, about Courtois, the attempts he's faced?
16 attempts faced, only 5 from Alisson, 9 saves. There you go.
Distribution success needs to get that up a little bit. We'll talk about that later when we're watching some tape.
52% is pretty bad in fairness, but I mean, again, this kind of shows you, like that. Courtois was probably the difference here between the two sides.
Let's take a look half by half. All right, so in the first half we saw 32 in the Belgian third there. Now let's take a look at the second half. Pretty similar. I mean, Brazil had a little more of the ball, but it just they need more.
Like in these type of games, like you would expect Brazil to have more possession, because the likes of Belgium want to soak up the pressure. They want to sit deep. They want to play to their strengths on their counter-attack. So again, you would expect this. You would expect to see them having a lot less possession. In terms of like the average positions, if we have a look at each team individually, I'm actually surprised. I'm not surprised the fact that they needed to go for the game in the second half. There were 2 goals down, so the average position did go a bit higher. Neymar was the guy who played mostly up front. When Costa came on, he had a bit about him when he got on the ball, but he didn't really deliver. Firmino played a bit deeper than you would expect. You probably would have expected him to play more on the right-hand side. He played a more kind of like an attacking midfielder kind of style. Wagner on the right-hand side, didn't really see too much of him. You'd expect maybe him to, be a little bit more kind of running up and down the wing, like what Marcelo did. If you look at number 3 for Brazil, Marcelo, what he does and what he does best is, or is he number 12? Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, number 12. Okay. Like you'd expect him to be in that position where he is, constantly getting up and down the pitch. He's not the best defensively, but when he goes forward, he gets the ball in a little bit more. But I mean, Lukaku is their furthest man forward. Again, they played a lot deeper in the second half, but again, you'd expect that because they are, 2-0 up, or they were 2-0 up, so they play a little bit more defensively. And when the substitutions were made, again, it shows that they played more deep.
Why don't we look at whose pass map you want to see over the course of the game, Mr. De Bruyne there, 28 successful, 3 chances created. I mean that is so De Bruyne right there, right? He's always an inch away from that last final pass that just sets someone up perfectly for a look on goal.
I know, but like the thing is, like, as well, is that like you want to see KDB, as we saw. We don't want to see him like in the defensive midfielder role. We want to see him up the pitch because we know he's effective. I want to see the forward passes though in this, if I can.
Still pretty good.
Yeah. So I mean, one thing that I've kind of noticed on this, Sevi, is that when we say like just outside the box, the passes just outside the box are the most kind of important passes that a player makes, especially a player that wants to create chances. And one thing that I've noticed in this is that he has a lot of successful passes in that area, whereas other players that we've seen in the World Cup over the past couple of matches that haven't had those successful passes, that haven't had those chances created, and KDB delivered in that part of the pitch.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, look at the position. He's playing a pass that's quite long here, right? I mean, this is not a little layoff, and this isn't into a useless space. This is a forward pass of about 15 meters, successfully completing on the edge of the other team's box. There's no other way to say it, but that is a positive play right there. That's creating something meaningful. That isn't a stat filler. That right there is a final ball that's going to create something good.
Yeah, exactly. And even though, like you look at here, he's had 12 successful. He's had 5 unsuccessful. If you look at it in terms of percentage-wise, it doesn't look great. But if you forget about that and you look at the match and you see what he contributed, you know, that is what matters. And it's been brilliant. And he was fantastic during the match.
Let's take a look at the other midfield maestro here. Wow, look at that. That's just, you know, we laugh at Fellaini, but maybe he's someone who puts De Bruyne in that position to be a little more attacking, knowing that you have Fellaini behind you, who's going to do definitely putting the dirty and dirty work back there, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, credit where credit is due, lads. I mean, like, I have to say, with Fellaini, you know, I'm not as big as fan at all, but he is effective. And look at this. I mean, if you look at his involvement in the game, if you look at his passes, he's playing deep. That's the kind of best role that he plays in. He plays in a defensive midfielder role just above the defenders. And he gets the ball around. Again, he's not the most creative, he's not the most expressive type of player, but he blocks the ball. He's a defender, and he's a good when the ball is in the air as well. We've seen it in that match. We've seen it for Manchester United all season as well.
Well, God help us when Fellaini feels like being expressive and starts opening up to us. I'm a little worried about when that day comes. Let's take a quick look at the Brazilian side here, and you can see Neymar's passing a lot shorter, a very different style from De Bruyne, obviously, as we know, everyone who's watched these two. But
one thing I suppose, like with this, Sevi, like, to give Neymar a bit of credit here, is that he's created a lot of chances. So when he's gotten the ball down the left-hand side, when he has the ball, he is trying to make something of it. That pass that he gave to Renato Augusto that led to the goal, he got an assist. That was a great little ball, very, very clever ball into the box as well. You know, he wasn't great overall the course of the match in terms of his passes here. He's in the right areas, though. I mean, if we look at this and we look at like the passes that he is giving, he is in the right areas, and he is being successful with the majority of the passes on the left-hand side. But maybe, having looked at it again, if we look at the comparison between himself and KDB, was when he gets down the middle, he's been very kind of, he's had a lot of unsuccessful passes there, and again, that's not good, I suppose.
Coutinho, something of a similar story, a little bit deeper, a little shading towards the left, created a couple chances, didn't give the ball away too much. He was the one I think you were talking about who played that chip ball over that ultimately led to the goal there. He got that assist. That was a good ball.
Well, it was Coutinho actually hit the ball in, right? Okay, but I mean, even looking at the balls that he's been playing from deep, like any kind of long ball that he's tried to make here, you can kind of see like that it's been unsuccessful. So any short little passes that he's made, okay, they're fine. But when the balls that he really wants to hit in and he wants to find a player in that final third, he's made mistakes.
I mean, he got a great assist on that ball, but that was, I mean, other than this one pass he completed just inside the edge of the box, where were all the other entry passes? You know what I mean? Where he wasn't able to find anyone. They cut off Coutinho from supplying that final ball, and Neymar looked a bit isolated on the left there, where or maybe tried to do too much, where he created early, but then when he got to the byline, he ran out of ideas. So maybe a little bit of Belgium's game plan is starting to be seen here in some of the unsuccessful passes for Brazil.
Yeah, absolutely.
Should we take one final look then at the shot plots for the two teams? No, we don't want Allison's shots. We want Brazil shots. Wow. What do you...
Yeah, I mean, again, what this highlights for me, Sevi, I don't know about you, is that like how many saves that Courtois made. I mean, another thing that I've kind of noticed in this as well is that they've taken a lot of shots from outside the box. It kind of goes to show as well how well Belgium defended. If we look at the amount of blocks that Belgium made, they really blocked Brazil out. They played a lot of players behind the ball. It really kind of upset how Brazil normally play, and it was effective, and, you know, fair play to them.
Brazil, anything but comfortable attacking today. Definitely looked a bit out of sorts.
Yeah. And what this kind of shows to me is, you know, that Belgium are clinical. You know, they really were. They missed a lot of opportunities, and they made the keeper save a few. But ultimately, you know, in these kind of games, you know, you need players who are able to get that opportunity, that moment of genius, like what Coutinho did against Switzerland in the first game of the World Cup. We saw that from KDB in this game, and we saw him deliver.
Well, definitely feel like we saw two teams here tonight that one of them really started to hit their stride and establish the way they like to play, and their identity was on full display. And another that still could never really get going. It's still, the cracks were there in the early match, you know, like we said against Switzerland, not quite getting their momentum going, and now they're going home. So that may be the difference. All right, let's take one more little look here at the knockout. Now we've got one semifinal set here. Tell us, Maz, France, Belgium, which one of those teams goes to the final?
Belgium. I think Belgium are going to go to the final. I think that Belgium will win the World Cup. I think they have it now. I think Belgium will win against France. Do you know what I'm going to say, right? I'm going to be really controversial. I'm going to say that Russia are going to beat Croatia.
Really?
And England are going to beat Sweden. So it's going to be Russia in their home ground against England in the semi-final of the World Cup. And
all right. So you're saying Russia beats Croatia in regular time, extra time, penalties, or by any means necessary?
Putin time, whatever time you want to talk about it.
Forget Fergie time. You got Putin time.
Yeah, Putin time. Yeah, I reckon Russia are going to beat them. I reckon they're going to shock the world. They're going to shock me. They're going to shock you. They're going to shock everyone.
Okay.
And then I reckon, I think England will beat Sweden tomorrow.
Okay.
And I hope they do. I hope England do beat them and then get crushed by the Russians.
Oh.
In the semi-final.
I'll tell you what, though, Russia, if it does come to play, it kind of makes an easier final to root for, where you kind of feel like maybe there's, you know, it's easy to say, but like a good team and a bad team, right? I feel like I'd be much more conflicted watching Belgium and England because, you know, I feel for England, you know, I follow the Premier League, but you and I both really love a lot of the players on Belgium, and you feel like maybe it's their time, it's their golden generation, but if they're playing the Russians, then you've got your James Bond baddies out there, and the story writes itself, right?
Yeah. I mean, like, I think Croatia, like Sweden, England, Russia, and Croatia, I mean, they must be thinking to themselves, listen, this is the best opportunity of our lives to be able to get as far as we can in this competition. I think, you know, the France-Belgium game, like, what do you think, actually? Because I think, to me, like, if Belgium can do that to Brazil, they can do that to any team left in the competition, including France.
Yeah, on this side of the bracket, I like Belgium to beat France, and I have total respect for the French team. I mean, they have so much talent. You and I have talked, you know, on and on about it. I just feel like Belgium have more different ways to win a little bit. They've come back. Okay, 2 games ago, they were down and had to come back from 3 goals, and now in this, they went up 2 goals and were able to hold off Brazil. You know, like they just know so many different ways to win, and they've figured that out over this tournament. They have a good streak going. They've got a deep pool of talent. I think they get a little bit of the better of France. I think France were a little bit flattered by their result against Uruguay, you know, a Cavani-less Uruguay. So I think Belgium, in a weird way, might have more situational experience going into that match. So I like Belgium to get it done as well. Not sure about Russia and Croatia, but stranger things have happened, especially when Big Bad Vlad is pulling the strings there, watching on. I think England beat Sweden, but make it a lot harder than they have to. And don't ask me to predict that other semifinal. I don't know. I don't know who's going to be playing.
And that's the thing. Like, these games are so hard to predict, though, as well, aren't they? Like I've made so many predictions that were wrong over the past couple of weeks. But I mean, I think, you know, like I have though. Like I have, and like I know football. Like I understand the game, and I know a lot of the players on a lot of the teams. But this World Cup has just been full of shocks. I saw that. Listen, Ben Youssef.
No, you're right. I mean, the one thing this tournament's been good at is surprises and making us who say we know the game look foolish, because we just can't predict anything. That's why it's been one of my favorite World Cups in some time now. So it's been enjoyable, and that only makes these weird ties look even weirder, or the ones where you know you get two good teams coming in for sure. So it should be a lot of fun. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I've got my weekend all sorted out, so tomorrow I'll be keeping an eye on those 2 games. Where are you going to be watching from, Mask? You got a big plans to go out and watch the games?
Yeah, I think we're having a barbecue with my mates. We're going to watch the England game. We're going to shout England on. We're going to be wearing our 3 Lions jerseys, all of us, drinking some Stella Artois, getting some bangers on mash involved. Yeah, it's going to be full England day tomorrow in Ireland.
Yeah, I bet. That sounds about right. That sounds very, very Irish. So enjoy that. And to all you guys watching out there, thanks for joining us today. Remember to follow us on all our social media, and especially Mr. Mask, who joined us here. You guys will see his social media in the graphic there. It's always a pleasure having you, Mask. Thanks for joining us today. We appreciate that. It's always good to get that insight.
No worries at all. Cheers, buddy.
And remember to tune in tomorrow. We'll be doing the England and Sweden match. Thanks for watching today. And remember, if you're seeing this, tell a Mask.
You are the convention.